And a very good morning to you. It's Tuesday, the last day of August, 31st of August 2010, and it's just gone 11 o'clock in the morning UK time. A warm welcome along to today's United Kingdom talk. My name's Chris Reardon here on United Kingdom Radio, and we're lucky to be here, boys and girls. Oh, let's do some messages first. Already some messages pouring in. Good morning to Millie, who reminds me to hit the record button. The record button has been hit, Millie. It absolutely has been hit. Do not worry. Sean Riches is here as well, who says, tell me people to join me on Saturday. Can I do my show before I start talking about other people's, if you don't mind? Can I just get on with mine? Thank you very much. Sean says he's got a show here on United Kingdom Radio on Saturday at 5 o'clock UK time. He says, don't tell him it's a fake hairstyle. So he must have done something with his hair. He says, I've got masks for each show I do now, which is rather worrying. Rather worrying that someone at such a young age feels that he already needs to wear masks because he's so ugly. But that should be me, really. I wonder if you can get masks to hide the oldness in one's face. You know, I keep telling myself, when sometimes I watch back at the videos of the show, and I keep telling myself it's the positioning of the light, because there is a long light directly above me, and it kind of shines downwards. And I have a feeling it's possibly in the wrong place. I don't know. Do we have any lighting experts? I don't know. We got Joe Furness watching. Good morning, Joe. Who says problems with the live video. Yes, that does sometimes happen, I'm afraid. You might want to try the audio feed instead. I don't know. We're not sure why it happens. It does happen sometimes. I'm actually now looking into another method of actually putting the whole show together, okay? We might come off Ustream because it just doesn't seem to sort itself out. But yeah, you'll find sometimes at the beginning of the show, for whatever reason, the video buffers. If you're finding trouble watching the show, you might want to just listen. Just click the audio stream button, all right? And that should sort you out. Anyway, a bit lucky to be here today, to be honest, boys and girls, because Saturday, oh dear me, well, Saturday, I did my little DJing job in Belushi's in Hammersmith. Not a busy night, it has to be said, one of the quieter ones, and it usually is around bank holiday, because what happens, people go away. They go away to seasides. They love to sit in miles and miles of traffic on a bank holiday. That is their idea of a day out, you know. To sit in miles and miles of traffic in the morning, to get somewhere, spend 2 hours there, and then do it all over again on the way home. Not my idea of a good night. Or a good day, rather, shall I say. Not my idea of a good day at all. However, that's what they do. Which means some of the clubs and that in London tend to be a little bit quieter, usually on bank holidays, as indeed was the case. So that was that. And then afterwards, someone invited me round to their house. And I thought, oh, well, you know, not doing much tomorrow. All right, then. So I went round to their house and I stayed far too much longer than what I had originally. I thought I'd go round there for an hour. Well, you know, at 6:30 in the morning, I was still there. You know, drinking. I just want to point out, we don't drink, okay? Don't drink. Just sitting there chatting. I think, really, I was doing the chatting. They were doing the listening, boys and girls. I think that's what was going on there, yes. So eventually I left there. And on the way home, I thought I'll fill up my diesel tank with fuel, because we were a little bit low on that. So I pulled in at the Shell petrol garage at the beginning of the M3, which is one of the main roads going out of London. And I filled up my car, got back in it again, put the key in, click. And all the lights were like flickering. I mean, it was like a Christmas tree. It really was. But obviously not at Christmas, because we're still in summer. Although you could, you know, you may think it's not summer. We are actually still in summer at the moment. Autumn is not here yet. Or for the Americans, the fall. The fall is not here yet. Not for another few weeks. And I turned it off, and I switched it to the position again, and again the lights were flickering instead of being on. And I thought, hello, electrical fault. Did it again? Click. By the way, it is now 7:30 on a Sunday morning, And Chris Reardon is very tired. He wants to go to bed. And I thought, oh no. And I tried the electric window. Oh yes, I've got electric windows in my car. It may be a cheap car, but it's got electric windows. I clicked it again. And then tried the electric windows. And they moved, but very, very slowly. I thought, I've got a dead battery. Now, I knew that I hadn't run the battery down because I'd already driven 10 miles. You know, I drive a lot of miles during the week. I mean, hundreds of miles during the week. And because of that, it's constantly charging the battery up. I don't leave anything on unnecessarily or anything like that. I knew I hadn't drained the battery myself. I thought I've got a dead battery because it's 4 years old. Car's done 122,000 miles now. Got to be, and most of the driving is at night, using the electricity and the battery and all that. I thought, I bet that's died. Anyway, so I then went to the garage and I says, I've broken down, I'm afraid. Do you want me to push the car? He said, yeah, put it over there. Yeah. No, at that point, he didn't offer to help. So I started trying to push the car. And of course, you know, in these petrol garages, there is a slight incline, isn't there? So I'm trying to push it up this little hill and it's not having any of it. At that point, a very nice man, he came out of the garage from behind his checkout. And he says, I'll give you a push. And I thought, oh, how kind. How kind. So he gave me a push and we parked it in a specific place in the garage. All right. So that was fine. Kind of in the corner. I then sat in the car and rung up the Toyota breakdown cover. They have a thing called Club Toyota. And with that, you get discount on roadside rescue. Now, each year, I get a little reminder letter telling me that my Club Toyota is going to finish in a month or whatever it is. Do I want to renew again? And I always say yes, and I pay the money, and that's it for another year. It's not, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it is not expensive. It's about £60 for a whole year's cover, which is brilliant. You know, what's that? £5 a month. That's all it is, £5 a month. If you break down, they come out and they fix you or they tow you. Brilliant. So I've rung up this woman. She's given her my registration. She says, I'm afraid your cover has expired. I said, well, it can't have expired. I pay it every year. She said, did you get a letter from the AA? Now, at this point, I remembered something. I'd received a letter from Club Toyota telling me that the breakdown cover with the RAC, they're going to stop that and they're going to, in future, subcontract it out to the AA. And I didn't have to do anything. It was just like an information letter. Now, I remember getting that letter. And because it said I need to do nothing, I didn't do anything more. You know, I threw the letter away and that was it. Anyway, I'm looking at my card because, again, each year they send a little card out. And it said on there, expires 31st of May 2010. Well, of course, now it was the, 28th or 29th of August 2010. I thought, oh, no, don't say I've forgotten to do this. But then I thought, well, hang on a minute, I didn't get a letter. They always send me a letter. So I said to the lady, I said, well, I'm sure I've done it. I said, I renew it every year. I said, are you Club Toyota? She says, no, you come straight through to the AA. I said, now I remember getting that letter telling us we would change it from RAC to AA. But it did say on there I didn't have to do anything. Everything would remain the same. The phone number that you ring for the breakdown, all this, that and the other. Anyway, we was about 20 minutes on the phone to this lady at the AA, who I have to say was very nice and very, very helpful. Really nice lady, okay? But I was a good 20 minutes on the phone while she's trying to sort this out. Giving her various bits of information, this, that and the other. She said, well, I can't find anything else. Then she found cover, but it was from the guy who lived here before me. And that's, you know, someone who had stopped the breakdown cover before the end of it, because presumably he was changing his car. But that was like 9 to 18 years ago. And they still had the guy who lived at the same address as me. Anyway, so then she went back and said, well, I can't find it. She said, but as you're sure you've paid it, I'll put it through on something or other, some technical terms she was saying. She said, and I'll get someone out to you. I said, oh, brilliant. I said, really, she said, you may hear from Toyota, and if you're not covered, they may ask you to pay for this call-out. I said, that's fine. It's not a problem. I said, I just want to go home. I'm so tired now. She said that, and she laughed. She's a lovely lady, lovely lady. So that was it. So we sorted the AA man to come out. And she said he'll be with you within the hour. It's now, I think it was about 10 to 8 now. She said he'll be with you by 10 to 9 or probably just before that. I said, that's fine, thank you very much, and put the phone down. She said, they will keep you informed by text message. So I gave my mobile phone and all that business, right? So I sat back in the car and I thought, oh, well, wait here an hour. And I went back into the garage and I got myself a cup of tea. And unfortunately, I was quite hungry now and a bit fed up. So I also purchased, and it's the first bag I've had for weeks, a packet of grab-size Walker's cheese and onion crisps with my cup of tea. I avoided the sandwiches like the plague because you have a look. Next time you're in a petrol garage, pick up a sandwich and see how many calories are in one of those and saturated fats. Some of those sandwiches, I picked up the cheese ploughman sandwich, had 600 calories in it, dear. It's an entire dinner, isn't it? In 2 bits of bread. I mean, they are nice, but 600 calories is too much. Absolutely too much to be eating, at that time of the day. It really is. It's too much. Too much, dear. Oh, hang on a minute. What have we got here? Oh, we've got Isidore. Good morning, Isidore. Lovely to see you, sir. Isidore from Iceland is joining us. Isidore, yes, someone who often sings at karaoke nights. Right, now where was I? I've lost the plot. Oh, so I went back in the car and I put a copy of News of the World as well. I quite like News of the World. It's a trashy old paper. Absolutely trashy old paper. We've got a phone call coming in. I'll be with you in a moment, whoever that is calling in. You're on hold at the moment. As soon as I finish this little bit, I'll come to you, okay? So I sat in the car, had my paper, drinking my tea, eating my crisps, watching what was going on around us. And then these 2 cars pulled in, and on opposite sides of the garage, actually. And one was an old man, I would say about 60, 65. And in the other car was 2 young people, a young boy and a young girl. And the 2 cars, and they're both filling up at opposite ends of the station, and they are shouting at each other. So obviously someone's cut someone else up. And it was wonderful. I'm just sitting there enjoying this free entertainment. Absolutely enjoying this free entertainment that was going on. With the 2 people shouting. There were no fights. One was saying, yeah, do you want to come over here then, mate? Go on, come over here, the old bloke was saying. And the young lad wouldn't go anywhere near him. And then, of course, the girl starts. Why do the girls have to join in? She starts mouthing off. Oh, and the mouth on it, dear. A typical contender for the Jeremy Kyle show was this girl. She was just awful. Pretty girl, but the mouth on it. I mean, it was like a lavatory. She had a toilet mouth on her. Anyway, so that carried on. Eventually, they both pulled out and no more incidents, which was rather disappointing. I thought I was going to observe a fight, but it didn't happen. Went back to my tea and crisps. And then, just 15 minutes later, the text went, man is on his way to you now. And do you know what? By 8:10, the AA man was at my car. Very, very impressed. So it took him less than 25 minutes to get to me. Right? As I say, it's now 8:10 in the morning. He took a look at the car. He said, all right, what's that? I said, the battery's died. I said, I think it's the battery's died. He said, I suppose you've been sitting here with the radio on and your air conditioning on and all that. I said, no. I said, it died when I got out, filled the car out, got back in and it won't start again. He said, let's have a listen. And I turned the key and it went click. He said, yeah, it sounds like it. So he put his probes on there. and says, "Oh yes, mate. Yeah, you need a new battery in that." I said, "Oh, would you just jump start me and so I can get home, or how does that work?" He said, "Well, I can either do that, or you can buy a new battery from us. £69 altogether." I said, "Oh, that's fine. Just do that. Then I won't have to do it myself when I get home, or take. Well, I can do that, and that is something I can do on cars. I know how to change the battery, but I thought, no, I can't be bothered with all that today. Later on." Give me a new battery. So I put a new battery in, £69, and I was on my way within 20 minutes. Really nice man. I got him a cup of tea from the BP garage while he was fixing my car and all that, and I was on my way again. And I didn't get home on Sunday morning until about 8:45 in the morning. And I was so annoyed because then, of course, I had to sleep, and I lost an entire day. And I do think I hate that. I mean, I used to do it all the time in my... from the age of about 30 through to 42, I used to go clubbing and all that business, and I would be out all Saturday night, and I would lose Sunday every week. Now I hate to lose a day. I just think it's so wasteful, to lose an entire day like that. But unfortunately, there was nothing I could do about it. So Sunday, I completely lost Sunday altogether, and got in my car, and it's all working fine again now. Now, the battery, I have to say, the car's done, as I say, 122,000 miles, and it's over 4.5 years now. So all that time, same battery, yeah, fair enough. That's fair enough. Just one of those things that wears out. So that was my Sunday. So I'm lucky to be there. I mean, if it wasn't for the AA, I could still be walking home now from Richmond. I mean, it would take a long time. Now let's see. Have we got someone on the line? I think we might have lost that. Let's have a little look. No, let's try it again. We'll come back to possibly to try and get this call in, as there was someone new calling in this morning. Let's see if he's there. Good morning, Isidore.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you? Well, you're not in Iceland, but you are from Iceland, of course.
Let me see. I need to turn down the volume.
Oh yeah, you got to turn off the media stream thing. All right, Isidore.
Yeah, it's done.
That's better. Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
If I could just let people know, Isidore is one of my singers usually on the Monday night karaoke. Wonderful voice from Iceland. And would you like to tell us who your cousin is?
Well, Björk is one of my cousins.
Björk is one of his cousins. Björk! It's so quiet. Shush! It's so quiet. Shush! We don't hear much from her anymore, do we? What's happened to her then?
Well, she has just been in Sweden because she just received the Polar Awards for music, and it's like a Nobel Prize for musical achievements. She just received that yesterday, actually.
Oh, wonderful. She's won quite a few awards, but we don't hear from her much anymore, sort of it, since it's so quiet and all that. Has she got any more music coming out, or what?
Well, she's always working on music, but right now she's actually getting very political. She's now, you can call her an environmental activist.
Ah, yes.
Who try to prevent, constructions in Iceland with aluminium plants, etc., etc.
I'm very environmental. I've got the solar panels here, Isidore.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, I've had them about 4 years now. Generates about 2,500 watts in the middle of summer. It's sort of going down slightly now because we've gone past the peak, But yes, I've got very cheap electricity bills. They're like £22 a month or something like that.
Oh, that's brilliant. I mean, you can see Iceland has so much power that
yes. But yours is
electricity and heating in Iceland is maybe 2% of the cost here that you have in the UK.
Yeah, but you've got a lot of geothermal, haven't you?
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why Icelandic people are not that worried about the financial crisis that has been going on.
Yeah, you've got all that geothermal power. There's actually they have now what are they called? Heat ground source heat pumps, and they are trying to push that here. What they do is drill right into the ground, and they put a pipe down and bring up the natural heat from the earth itself.
That's true. I mean, all radiators in Iceland, they have hot water pumping through them to give heating in the houses.
And that's coming from out of the ground, isn't it?
That's coming directly out of the ground, yeah.
Brilliant. Now, you haven't been to my karaoke nights for 2 or 3 weeks now. What is going on? You know, Silence hasn't been either. I'm very disappointed with you, really.
Well, I have to admit, this weekend I was busy clubbing.
Oh, where did you go?
Bank holiday weekend, you know, so...
Right.
So, I could not make an appearance yesterday. And last week I was actually ill with chest infection.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough, yes.
So I don't think you know, singing is any good when you have chest infection.
Oh, you've got to work through it, Isidore. You've absolutely got to work through it. It's like when I'm ill, I still go swimming.
True.
Yeah, probably not a good idea, but I'd still do it, yes. Anyway, it was quite good last night, but we did miss you. And Silence hasn't been either for a few weeks.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything from him.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they'll be back next week anyway.
I'm sure. And I probably will as well.
Well, a warm welcome along to the show, and thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Good luck, Isidore. There we are, my good friend Isidore from Iceland. Now, wonderful to talk to people for the first time sometimes. Now, if you're with us live, you can, of course, join in live. You can contact by various different means. Our Skype username, if you've got Skype, you can Skype in. The Skype name is all one word, United Kingdom Radio. Okay, add that to your contact list. It's United Kingdom Radio. If you don't have Skype, you can always call in on your telephone. We have a local London number, and the number is 020 3287 1488. 020 3287 1488. Also, if you're listening live, or indeed if you're watching a recording of this show, you can always join in by email, all right? If you're watching this show 3 weeks later, it doesn't matter. Anything you want to join in on that's been within the show, or indeed anything else, then just send us an email. Nice, easy email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, all right? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Couple of messages coming in. Where are we going now? Good morning to Joe Furness. Good morning, Joe, who says, you sound like Bruce Forsyth. Well, I wish I had his money. If I had his money, I would build little radio studios all around the country for our other presenters here on United Kingdom Radio to come in and do their shows all free of charge. I would do that. I absolutely would. I'd have little, you know, I don't know, I could have a flat. You know, if I had a few £1 million, I'd have a few flats all around the country set up as United Kingdom radio studios, and we'd do that. We would absolutely do that, yes. Good morning to David and Kat on the Isle of Wight, who are with us this morning. Haven't been with us for a while because they've got their baby to look after and what have you. Good morning, David and Kat. And Sean says, why not get the 2,500 calories pizza burger from New York? Is there really a pizza burger in New York? 2,500 calories. That's an entire day's calories in one meal. But is there anyone that's had, I wonder if there's anyone watching or listening to the show who's actually had one of these 2,500 calories pizza burgers? I'm liking the sound of that. I am actually liking the sound of a large pizza burger. Do you have tomato sauce on that? Would you have a salad in it? It does make me laugh, doesn't it? You know, people get these 2 bits of white bread, a full of fat burger, 5 layers of cheese, and then they put a bit of cucumber on the end. And that makes them feel better because they've had a bit of salad or a bit of lettuce. I mean, what's lettuce do? Is that any good for your lettuce? I mean, it's just a leaf. Lettuce can't be any good, can it? All it is water. Someone have a look for me. Is lettuce any good? Charlie, the baby on the Isle of Wight, also says hello. Hello, Charlie. All right, now let's see. I think Millie wants to call in this morning, so we'll give her a quick call. Good morning, Millie. How are you today?
Good morning, how are you?
I'm all right. 25 past 11. It's the last day of August. August the 31st, 2010. Yes, Millie.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, it looks like I saved your bum again, didn't I?
Why, what did you do?
Reminded you to hit the record button.
Yes, people need to do that because I often forget to hit the record button and then we've done an entire show and it hasn't been recorded. But actually, I do have a couple of backups running now as well.
Backups are good. Backups are very, very good.
Backups are very important. People should back up their computer a little bit more often, but they don't. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
And sometimes even with the computer backups, those sometimes go
they do.
pear-shaped.
They do. I mean, they do. You know, it's just one of those things. Did you hear my car problems at the weekend?
Oh dear.
I mean, at
yes.
the end of the day, it's not a battery dying is not a huge, but it's more of an inconvenience. You know, they're easy enough to change, and batteries. I mean, you know, you can't guess how long a battery is going to last for because there are so many different variables. You know, how much do you have the lights on, how much do you drive the car, how long do you you know, so 4 years I think is about right. And in fact, 4 years is the longest I've ever owned a car. Believe it or not.
I know.
I've just been so happy with this Toyota Aygo. The service is second to none in that place. I feel very, very valued whenever I go in Toyota. I mean, you know, I haven't got a bad word to say against Toyota. And I know they had so much bad press. But at the end of the day, they recalled the cars and fixed them, you know. Everything has problems, and I'm very much on the side of Toyota, really. What sort of car? Who's the make of your car?
It's Chrysler.
Chrysler, okay. Are they pretty good?
Well, you have to remember, this is a new van that I have. So we haven't had, and it's also a conversion.
Yes.
Because it's a regular vehicle, but it had to have a ramp,
right,
or a lift and stuff put into it for me. So Chrysler gave us the vehicle, but in the end, a company called Rolex performed the conversion. So they're the ones that sort of look after everything. Right. And so far, they've been great. And I lucked out with the lease.
What do you mean so far?
Mm-hmm. So far, we've lucked out, yeah.
Right.
The lease that we have includes everything, maintenance, everything, which is great for me because then I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, yeah.
For those that don't know, the reason I was able to get this van is because I have a trust fund that I got when my family was part of a class action lawsuit against the company that manufactured the method of birth control that caused my birth injury. Yeah. So that has enabled me to have my van and to have my partner in crime, Lisa, who I'm sure you remember.
Yes. Well, it's wonderful, you know, even with your disability like that you can still get around in a car. Doesn't it make a huge difference?
It does. You know, one of the things that I most want people to understand is that even though I use a wheelchair to get around, I'm no different than anybody else.
No, we know that. And you do your own podcast as well, don't you?
Yeah, I have.
MilliesWorld.com.
Actually, sweetie, as of Sunday, I don't anymore.
Are you giving it up? Why is that then?
Well, a couple of different reasons. First of all, I have a lot of stuff going on personally, some of which you're aware of. And second of all, and I don't mean to sound like I got downhearted because there was no interaction, but a podcast like yours and like mine cannot survive without interaction.
Oh, of course it can. Of course it can. When I first started doing this thing 5 years ago, there were no emails or letters or anything. I just sat here and talked rubbish for an hour. and eventually
Rubbish?
they
I don't think so, Chris.
I've got all this at the moment with Suko at the moment. Suko does a show on United Kingdom Radio, and she's constantly moaning about there's not many people listening. But you have to build it up. And, of course, then she goes and looks at other people's podcasts and see that their listening numbers are higher than hers, and she thinks it's her. But no, everyone, some people will appeal to more people than others. Okay, but even if you had, are you saying that there's only 3 people watching or listening? It's not worth doing. If you're saying that, I think you perhaps should never have started in the first place. The idea is to do the thing because you love doing it, and if anyone calls in or rings in, then it's a bonus. If anyone, and gradually over time, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are, whatever, or whatever.
That's not all of it, Chris. That's no.
I know, but whatever way, for example, let me think. Football appeals to a mass audience, doesn't it? Football, yes? Yes?
Well,
there will be millions and millions of people watching a football match.
Which version of football? There's American, and then there's...
It doesn't matter. Okay, a sports event, okay? There will be millions of people who watch any sorts of sports events. Not me. Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in a sports event. However, take something like... Okay, another TV programme, Casualty. We have a Casualty programme here in the UK, which is on...
I remember watching it when I was there last year.
Right. It's off for 2 weeks at the moment, and it comes back again on Saturday. Now, there are not millions and millions and millions of people watching that, but there are a few million. Okay? So there's only a few, much less, and one of those millions is me. Right, so now I will say to you, surely if there are just a few people watching or listening to the show, then it's worth doing, isn't it? It's not like it's a job. None of us are getting paid to do this, are we?
That's not why I stopped.
Right.
That isn't why I stopped. I stopped because, as I said, I have a lot going on personally.
Yes,
but also, wait a minute. Wait, listen. Also, yes, I'm a bit of a chatterbox, but I am nowhere near as much of a chatterbox as you are.
What do you mean?
You can sit there and you can talk for an hour to a wall.
What are you saying? Last week, it seems to be have a go at Chris. Last week you were saying that I'm on my own because I'm too picky.
Yeah, well you are.
I don't get the offers. Millie, you don't want to know. I don't get the offers, and that's it.
That's not, I betcha if you weren't so picky, I betcha somebody would, oops. I was about to say one of the things that you hate, so I stopped myself.
Oh, well, we'll see. Well, why don't you have a little break from it, and then maybe you'll want to go back to it. You don't have to keep doing it all the time. That's the beauty of doing just a podcast, is that you can come in and out of it as you please.
Right. And I'm not shutting the door on it, Chris. I really am not.
Good girl. We'll keep it up.
I'm not at a place in my own life right now, and you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah. All right then, Millie. Well, good luck, and thank you for calling, my darling.
Oh, you haven't heard the last of me. You know I'm gonna keep calling into United
Love to all in Minnesota. See you, Millie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, my darling. The lovely Millie in Minnesota. She likes to give us a call once a week or so. David and Kat on the Isle of Wight say, Chris, if Millie likes doing what she's doing in her podcast, then she should keep doing it. Yes, she does like doing it, but she's going to have a little bit of a break. So thanks for that, okay? Our email address, once again, is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the messages coming in here as well. Oh, Isidore has downloaded my latest music podcast. I also do a little music podcast. It's non-stop music, okay? And you can find that at chrisreardonshow.co.uk. There's no talking at all on there at the moment. And there's an extra one up there this week. Every week you'll find a non-stop DJ, sort of poppy, housey type music podcast. It's all one long mix. And there's a one that's up there that I made Sunday night at a place I was working at in Clapham. Just under 3 hours long, that one, okay? So it won't fit on a CD. However, you can listen to it on your computer, or maybe some of you might want to make a MP3 CD on that, or of course it'll go onto an iPod or suitable MP3 player. Once again, there's a just under 3 hour music mix, and you'll find that at chrisreardonshow.co.uk. chrisreardonshow.co.uk. David and Kat on the Isle of Wight say, when are you coming over to the Isle of Wight? I'm not at the moment. No plans to come over to the Isle of Wight, I'm afraid. However, I have plans to go back to Australia, and more, to be exact, Norfolk Island, which is in the Pacific Ocean. I have plans to go there again in January this year. And the good news is, and I've been waiting for this, the BA sale is now on. BA have a sale every year, usually round about this period, between now and sort of November they have it. Anyway, they've got a 20-day sale on now, and there's quite a few £100 off the price of the airfare to Australia. So it is time for me to book there. I'm not quite sure if I want to wait a few more days, because I'll be using my credit card to pay on that. If I wait a few more days, then it'll take me into the next billing period, if you see what I mean. I can't remember. Where's my credit card thing here? Let me see where that is. Oh, here it is. Let me see. I think my billing period ends up on the usually on the 5th of the month. Well, what are you on? So I've got to wait till the 5th of December. I don't know. Oh, no, hang on. 30th. I think I'll wait another 2 days, then it'll go into the next billing period, and then I'll have like 6 weeks to pay it. Do you know what I mean? So I might wait for that. But the BA sale, anyone who ever books flights for going away on holiday or anything like that, the BA sale is now on. Virgin Atlantic also have a sale on, and I wanted to fly with them this time because I've never done it before, but unfortunately their sale period, the flights finish on the 31st of December this year, whereas the BA one goes through next year, I think until March or something like that, and January is when I want to travel. So unfortunately the Virgin sale doesn't cover my period, so there we are. David and Kat say, we want to meet you maybe next summer. I don't know. I can't say when I'm coming to New York. Not New York, the Isle of Wight. Well, it's the same sort of place, isn't it? Only a bit colder. All right, don't forget, if you want to join in, you can do so live this morning. My Skype username is United Kingdom Radio if you want to Skype in, or you can just send a Skype message, or on the phone, 020 3287 1488, okay? 020 3287 1488. Just coming up to 20 to 12. It's, what is it? Tuesday, the 31st of August, 2010. On to an email then from the lovely Jennifer. Jennifer, who I haven't heard from for a while now, who writes, hello Chris and fellow listeners, how are you? How is Katie? Haven't heard so much about her lately. She's okay. Katie is my cat. She's very well, thank you. She always comes and talks to me in the kitchen, meowing away. I love the cat. I'll have to write a book, One Man and His Cat. Would that be a very popular book? I don't know. She says, well, I must say I am so overwhelmed. I feel I just need a drink after I get out of work. Have you ever been like that? No, I'm not a drinker. I don't understand. A cup of tea, yes. We like a cup of tea when we get in for work. Sometimes a piece of toast as well. I had that last night, actually. I came in for my karaoke night last night. I had a cup of tea and a piece of toast. And I watched the first in the new series of Coach Trip. Yes, boys and girls, those of you in the UK, will be, you must watch Coach Trip. It's on Monday to Friday at It's either 5:30 or I think it's 5:30 or 6:30 in the afternoon on Channel 4. Watch Coach Trip on Channel 4, Monday to Friday, either 5:30 or 6:30. It's lovely. It's really, really good, that. Very, very funny programme. Jennifer says, it's not the stresses of daily work that makes me feel I need to chill, but the prospect of going home and dealing with all the crap going on there that I need to numb out. It's like I need to mellow out before I walk in the door, before it all hits me in the face. Who's hitting you in the face? There will be no violence on this programme, my dear. Please, no violent people. I returned back from my quick trip back to Oklahoma. We have a presenter here on the United Kingdom Talk who does his show from Oklahoma. His name is Stacey White. Okay, Stacey White is here on United Kingdom Radio on Sundays at 6 o'clock UK time. All right? 6 o'clock UK time, unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. Well, of course, if you can't join him at that time, you can download his or any of the other presenters' podcasts by simply going to unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. To download old shows from me, slightly different address, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Very similar, but different. I return like twins. We're like twins, aren't we? We are like twins, dear. I returned back from my quick trip back to Oklahoma to help my husband move off the ranch. I like that word. I like that word, ranch. Ranch. And into town. My gosh, moving cost us over $2,000. Couldn't you have done it yourself? Eh? Haven't you got a wheelbarrow? That's all you need is a little wheelbarrow. Move your stuff from A to B. You don't need big lorries, dear. Get yourself a wheelbarrow. It's very easy. It wasn't the cost of moving, but the stuff he needed just to be comfortable. The only furniture he had was our bedroom sets. We had to get him a living room set and a kitchen set. All nice stuff we've got at a local discount store. Big Lots. Big Lots discount store. And then additional items just to decorate the place to make it feel like home. So now I have the stress of a $2,000 credit card bill. I have to pay off in 6 months or get charged interest. Pay it off, dear. Pay it off. There's too many people out there with credit cards who only pay off the minimum amounts. Why are people like that? If you haven't got the money, don't borrow it. You make sure you pay that off in 6 months or I will be disappointed with you, Jennifer. You will have to make other sacrifices. Don't eat for 4 weeks. It's the only way. Don't eat and don't go anywhere for 4 weeks and then you'll be able to pay it off, love. Okay? Water. Drink water and eat dust. Dust. My mother had been treating this small section in my bedroom for ants. When I returned from Oklahoma, I investigated the spot where she had been treating, which was behind the headboard of my bed, and decided to pull the bed away from the wall. To my surprise, the wall had a 5-foot by 3-foot section of black mould, as well as the tile on the floor. Oh my God, not black mould. Very bad for the respiratory system. Get out that bottle of bleach, my dear. And get rid of those ants. They might crawl into your ears while you're asleep. Oh, my God. I suppose that must happen. I suppose when we're asleep, things must crawl into our openings, mustn't they? I mean, there's a lot to be said for not sleeping naked in bed, you know. I mean, you never know what's going to crawl up there. Being that I moved in with my mother while my condo is rented out so I could potentially move out to Oklahoma, I had several pictures packed behind my headboard. Unfortunately, they too have now been covered with the black mould and had to be tossed aside. I wasn't allowed to clean up the mould until we got an insurance adjuster or the insurance company out to look at it, so I covered it up with plastic wrap and tape. I temporarily moved out into the living room, but the couch was way too uncomfortable for nighttime sleeping. Do you know, I can't sleep on a settee. I don't know how people do that. You know, some people, they seem to be able to lay their head down anywhere and they're, straight asleep, aren't they? How do they do that? I can't do that. She says the couch is only good for napping. I pleaded to clean it and offered my mum to take pictures so I could resume normal sleeping habits. Finally, I was given the go-ahead to bleach the wall a few days later. I had to get an air purifier to absorb all the mould spores floating around the room as well. Oh, God. Sounds a very unhealthy place that you've moved into, Jennifer. Is it wise, dear? Are you living in suitable accommodation? You could be saving up problems for the future. You could. This whole mould thing must have gone on for months. This would explain a lot of my persistent coughing that I've been experiencing. Yes, I mean, it will affect your breathing, my love. At first, we thought it may have been my depression meds, so I tapered off those and the cough still continued. Then we thought that it must have been the mould I was around while opening bread for the cows, which, by the way, I had to quit that job due to absolutely miserable working conditions. Are you not looking after the cows anymore? Who's looking after the cows, dear? They need looking after and they need comfort and cuddles. That's what cows need, dear. Comfort and cuddles. After being away from the bread mould, my cough did diminish a little, but continued at night quite profusely. Oh, there's nothing worse than having a cough while you're in bed, and you can't get to your... And then you cough... then you cough again, don't you? Oh, it's awful. Upon discovery of the mould behind my head while I slept, it had given us clarification it was the mould making me sick. Well, I would have said that straight away, dear. I would have known that straight away. Once I'd cleaned it up and set up the air purifier, the cough has subsided dramatically. I know it's still dangerous being in the room with the mould, but I really haven't any place to move my room. As of the past week, I have my bed in the middle of the room, away from the wall, and half of the other furniture in the room out in the living room. I feel completely out of sorts, with all my stuff not being in its place. I like organisation. Everything has its place and everything has its thing. That's one of my quirks. I like neatness. So I'm stressed out with all this discombobulation. I tell you what, you don't want to come round here then, Jennifer. Bits and pieces all over the place. I've got piles of papers here. Things that, oh, you'd hate this house. Yeah, I mean, it's not dirty. Don't get me wrong, it's not dirty. But it's untidy. My best friend, Ron, he hates it. And he starts tidying up. Oh, it's great when he comes round. He did the oven last time he came round. Yes! Did the oven, the kitchen floor, everything. Which reminds me, I must clean the kitchen floor. I have got a bit of a DIY job to do, actually, today, Jennifer. Yeah, I've got it here, actually. I bought a bathroom set. And I've got tiles, red tiles in the bathroom. And, you know, to put something up, you've got to drill for a tile. And it's not easy, is it? You know, these things are not easy. So I bought this set, which says it doesn't need screws. And they're like rubber suction things. But, you know, they just blooming keep coming off. And it's just hopeless. Just hopeless. They just keep coming off. And I've kind of thought to myself, you know, you're going to have to get the one with the screws and the raw plugs and do it properly, because these just keep falling off the wall. It says, you know, push it forward and then you kind of unscrew this thing here and then screw it back up. I can't work it. Doesn't work for me, this, I'm afraid. You know, you try and do things easier, don't you? And it doesn't work. So, you know, the towel thing keeps falling off. And the thing in the shower, well, last time it dropped on my foot and it nearly broke my foot, to be honest. Awful. So I've got to get a proper one. I might go and do that today. Because I have been doing a bit of DIY. I have. And I fixed something the other day. I'm very proud of myself. I've started fixing things. And you save a fortune. Save a fortune. If we've got time, I'll tell you about it in a minute, all right? Might have to wait till the next show for that one. Jennifer says, my mother is having shoulder surgery today as well. And I have my sister down from Kansas. Oh, that's where you have the tornadoes. That's where Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz was nearly blown away, dear. I'm melting, I'm melting. Toto, where are you, Toto? Eh? We love it. The Wizard of Oz. It's not on television. It should be on every week, I think, The Wizard of Oz. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. And the Munchkins. I like the Munchkins. Aren't they tiny little people? Munchkins. We love it. So there's an additional person in the house, Jennifer says. I'm grateful she's here to help out because with my full-time job and my children home for the week, I just won't be able to cater for every whimpering, beckoning call. Oh, they all want something, don't they? They want something all the time, Jennifer. Then to top it off, my oldest daughter, Dakota, has decided not to return to her dad's. So she's at my house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and her boyfriend comes over quite often and they need babysitting. What then, two? A 17-year-old girl and an 18-year-old boy. You know what I'm protecting. Oh, you're wasting your time, Jennifer. I know what you're saying here, my love. The last thing, she says, the last thing I need is a grandbaby at 41 years old. No way. If that happens, I'm out of here and moving to Oklahoma. This is one stress I cannot deal with. You know what? I understand where you're coming from, and I'd probably be the same if I had children here. But, you know, children they will go out. They will go out somewhere. I hate to say this. They will find a car or some woods, or a forest, and that's all I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? You're wasting your time. Wasting your time. Think you can keep an eye on them 24 hours a day, because they will disappear. Okay? Don't worry too much, darling. Just give them the chat. You know the chat. You've got to sit them down and have the talk. Both of them at the same time. Jennifer says, my book supplier is loading me up with millions of books, and I have them kicking around the house. Being that I like organisation, this is driving me insane too. I just can't bear to throw them away, the books, without checking them out, as I have so many, I just can't keep up. You know, I like a bit of a read, Jennifer, but I have got a very short attention span. I've just got a call on hold at the moment. All right, I've got your call there. I'll just put you on hold until the end of the email, then I'll bring you in. That's Leon and James. I'll bring you in straight after the email, okay? Yeah, I mean, I do read, but my attention span is actually quite small. And after 10 minutes, I have to put the book down. I quite like short stories, you know, sort of 10 pages long or something like that. Ronald Dahl does some short stories. I quite like those. But to actually pick up a book like Harry Potter and read the entire book, I can't do it. Cannot do it. Mother never cleans. I have to clean the house daily because the cats and dogs shed and their mother leaves garbage everywhere. Do you have any pet peeves? What's your worst? Cat fur. I can't stand pet fur everywhere. And I've got a cat. I love my cat, but the cat fur does me in. It really does. What's your worst peeve? Oh, I don't know. What are you saying? What annoys me about other people? Nothing really. I don't know. It does annoy me when they talk a lot. You know, I can't bear people that just go on and on about nothing. It gets on my nerves. It really does. You know, you're sitting there trying to have a quiet time and they're just chat. Ron does that. My best friend Ron does that. Sometimes he's like that in your ear all the time and it goes on and on and on. Does my brain in. It really does. My mother prepares her meals and leaves absolutely everything out and all over the kitchen. I leave for work every day at 7:30 in the morning and come home to the peanut butter and jelly knives and whatever all over the counter and sink. Every day. Oh no, that would do me in. That would do me in. Do you know that when I was growing up, my mum had this thing called the box? It was the most dreaded thing to us kids. The box was where all our stuff ended up when we left it out. She would collect our stuff and put it in the box on the top shelf of her closet. When we wanted our toy or whatever, it was left out. We had to pay 5 cents to get it out. A nickel. That was torture. You don't have nickels anymore. Do you still have nickels in the States? This was torture. Where's a kid supposed to get that money from? Then to make things worse, she used to tease us by leaving a part of our toy hanging out so we could see it. I love it. I love it. Take, for instance, a Barbie doll. She would have the head sticking out so I could want it and I could hear Barbie saying, Jenny, help me, get me out of here. Did you have a talking Barbie doll? That must have been more expensive. You must have been a very rich family. My sister had a Barbie doll, but it didn't talk. It didn't talk at all. So now that I'm an adult living in my mum's house again, I want to put all her stuff in the box. Did your mum ever do anything like that to try and teach you a lesson? No, mum was always clearing up after me. Oh, she was forever clearing up after me. Always hoovering and dusting, my mum. And God, I miss her. Do you know, it's 10 years. It'll be 10 years since November since I lost my mum. 10 awful years, to be honest, without my mum. Well, Chris, time for me to sign off and get back to work. Have a good night at work and be careful from Jennifer. Well, it's Tuesday today, Jennifer. No work for Chrissy Wissy on Tuesdays. I don't work on Tuesdays. Right, let's try and grab this call now. Leon, are you there? I think he's gone now. Let's try. Oh, yes. Let's do that. There we are. Leon and James and Scotty, is that right?
That would be correct.
Hello, how are you this morning?
I'm good, you?
You've only got about 3 minutes, so talk quickly, because we're running out of time now.
Where are we going on air?
Eh?
What?
You're on now.
What?
You're on now.
We're on now?
Yes. What did you ring for? No, he's not quite with it. Let's get rid of that one. Do try and be with it if you're going to call in, all right? Dear me, do try and be with it. Now, we are nearly out of time. Just a few more bits to tell you about. Got a few emails, a couple of emails here from Robert in Iceland that I'll bring up on the next show. Let me see if I've got anything short here that I can just fit into the couple of minutes that we've got left. If you're watching a recording on this show, you can join us live on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 11 o'clock UK time. Right, Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 11 o'clock UK time, and also on Sunday afternoons at 3 o'clock UK time. If you want to watch the show live at those times, go to unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. All right, United Kingdom Radio. .co.uk. And once again, if you want to watch or listen to any of the older shows, that's easy as well. Just go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. It's interesting. One of my friends, Lee, who's in Gloucester, just put a little post on his Facebook just before I came on the show today to start, and lets me know that he is going to get, was it an Android? Let me see what it is now. Is it an Android phone? Just a minute, let me just bring it up. He's going to get a Sony Ericsson, oh blimey, Xperia X10 Black. An Android smartphone. That's what he said it is, an Android smartphone. Is that better than an iPhone? Because I still really would like an iPhone. Now, I've got to admit, I nearly bought one the other day. I will have to pay the full price because my renewal thing isn't up yet until December. I nearly bought one the other day, iPhone 4. But my best friend Ron, tells me that there are a lot of problems with that still. And I don't know if it's true or not. But I have spoken since to 2 other people with iPhones 4 and they have no problem at all with it. So you just don't know who to believe, do you? Should I or should I not get an iPhone 4, boys and girls? Well, no time to tell me now on the Skype or the instant messaging thing, because we've run out of time. Please let me know. Should I get an iPhone 4? Let me know by email. We'll have a vote on that. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. You can also send a message by Facebook. My Facebook username is Chris Reardon UK. Chris Reardon UK. That's it from the show today. Thank you very, very much for joining me. Once again, the email address chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll see you again on Thursday morning at 11 o'clock UK time here at unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. You have a good day now. Thanks for watching this. Bye-bye.